What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, so you know what that means. Welcome to another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I am your host, Davin Jackson. Let me just do this real quick. There we go. Welcome to another episode. Thank you all for joining. We are live, as you already know. If you don't know already, this is InfoSec Unplugged. This is where I bring in people from all over the cybersecurity community to just talk about, how they came up into the game, their struggles, their wins, and we just, talk about it in the only way we know how. So again, thank you all for joining. I already see we have some people in the chat bumping. I hope it's here for me, but if not, I'm also doing a humble bundle giveaway. So I'll be doing let's start with two. I'll be doing two humble bundle giveaways that you can either choose between the cybersecurity package or you can choose between a Python programming package. Real quick before I bring in the guests, shout out to Sands. I just went to their Sands Hack Fest in person in Bethesda, Washington, D.C. This past week. So I'm a little exhausted, but I'm excited to get the show going. But it was a really great experience. Got to see a bunch of people in person. I got to meet people like Bryson Bort. I got to meet Jake Williams. I got to hang out with my amigos. So I got to meet CJB, C Ty, Tyrone Wilson, C Studio Sec or Sec Studio, Caleb. Also ran into Anthony Scaramucci. That's a crazy story. Got to see and support Mrs. Tanisha Martin on her path to world domination as she gave the keynote speech on day 2. So a big shout out to her. Also got to meet a bunch of other people. Jennifer Santiago from Sands, who I see why, everybody talks so highly of her. I also met Stephen A. Hart. If you haven't seen his shows, the Trailblazers, and on LinkedIn, like he runs that over there. I got to chop it up with him. I got to meet Randall with the good hair, so shout out to him. No, I'm playing, but he does have good hair. Also got to meet Steven Sims and so many other people. So shout out to all of them. It was a great experience. I think it should be up on YouTube. The videos of all the talks. They were really great talks by a lot of great people. So please go check that out. Now, without further ado, my guest tonight is actually one of the first people who interviewed me when I decided I wanted to kind of put my face to the screen and get on here and talk about my upbringing in cybersecurity. And come to find out, we have a lot in common. Both military veterans. Both came up very similar, but most of all, we were both taught by someone who we hold in very high regard, Mr. Keatron Evans. He runs his Cyber Warrior Studios, and he also hosts Security Happy Hour, which is live every Friday at 7. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, please give a warm welcome, and let's bring in my guest, Derek Scheller, also known as Cyber Warrior. What is going on, sir?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Good, man. Like I said, exhausted, but happy to be here.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Man, it's not often I'm on this side, man. It's weird for me.
Yeah. It's starting to get a little weird for me too when I do it. I'm like, wait, so I don't do the questions? Okay, got it. But let's see here. We got a bunch of people here already. Daniel Helmet says, I know this guy.
I would hope so.
Professor Black Ops says, damn, I wish I had some hair. No, let me tell you something. We were teasing him, man. His hair is just like, they literally call him Randall with the good hair. I don't know if I was supposed to put that publicly, so please don't get mad at me. But now I'm joking. But Cyber Warrior Derek, thank you for joining. Like I said, we've been working on trying to get the stars aligned to get you on the show for a minute, but now you're here. So now that I have you, please let the people know who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, man. So I work as a senior security consultant, doing a lot of vulnerability management and a little bit of pen testing. I don't do that so much anymore, but do it a little bit. I do a lot of paperwork program management, things of that nature for developing security infrastructure for organizations. While at the same time, I'm a content creator myself. I have the podcast Security Happy Hour. I do Motivation Mondays, and on occasion I do Tech Tuesdays. I try to do it more often than I am, but there's more coming down the line. I'm working on building out a lab to where I could have actual data and things to use for the future. So there will be more Tech Tuesdays coming. So please bear with me as I try to develop that. And then I'm also a technical director or the technical director for Raices, who has their own free conference coming up. It's going to be virtual in December, actually December 4th. So if you can register for that, that'd be great. But yeah, I'm the technical director for them. Eric Bellardo is the founder. So it's been amazing, man. It's been an amazing journey, an amazing ride. And I look forward to everything and how it's going because, like you said, I came up in the military and I did a lot of my training on my own because the Air Force and the Army, up until I became a cybersecurity person in the Army, I wasn't in the career field. I wasn't doing it. So finally getting the opportunity to have an actual job doing it was amazing. Um, then I got out of the Army and it's just been different jobs and different opportunities presented in front of me. And I think between what I'm doing now full time as a consultant and what I'm giving back to the community, uh, I love. I absolutely enjoy every minute of it. There's days, yes, I'm tired and exhausted, but for the most part, I love what I do. And I actually got the opportunity today to talk to at my kid's junior high school and talk to students about entering cybersecurity, and then kind of delved into some of the dangers online and social networking and things of that nature. While at the same time pointing out that what you put online is always online. If you post
Yeah.
it, it's there. Somebody took a screenshot. Somebody saved it. So it doing what I do has given me the opportunity to give a lot back to the younger generation as well as those who have been in it for a while and just wanted a fresh perspective.
Right.
Um, so it's been crazy. And like you said, Keatron Evans was probably one of my first security instructors ever. And that man taught me so much when I went through his boot camp through InfoSec Institute
Yep.
that I don't think I could ever replace. And when I went to my SANS trainings, a lot of what I was doing there, I already knew. I had already been doing it on my own between what Keatron taught me going through CEH and what I had worked at on my own. A lot of that was very easy for me to do. Not to say I didn't learn anything or that the instructors didn't know what they were talking about, just that it was a lot of like introductory style offensive security courses. So for me,
Right.
it was easy. But that's not how everybody operates. So it's been wild, man. It's been a wild, wild, wild ride.
To put it lightly. Um, First of all, shout out to you for being able to talk to you going to your kid's school, because I think if I walked into my kid's school, they would like cringe and kick me out. Um, I've tried, not I've tried. I've actually even reached out to like the school district's technology person to talk about it, but every time I do, it's like my kids are like, "No, please, just stop. We know." So,
See,
so
I went the opposite route. I emailed the counselor in the school directly and set everything up, and then told my son about it. But this isn't the first time I've talked to his grade level,
right.
because 2 years ago when he was still in elementary school, I talked to the elementary school kids
Mm,
because as well as I do, kids get phones these days as young as like 4 or 5 years old, some of them. So the dangers are already there. They're already learning and doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing.
hmm
And I told the lady that set up this meeting today, or the talk today, I told her, I said, it's funny. I said, when I mentioned sending pictures and videos that you shouldn't send, you see two girls giving each other the side eye. You see another dude that's, looking at each other. So this is why I bring these topics up. I said,
Yeah.
it's not about knowing that they did it. It's about they give it away. The moment you mention something, kids don't know how to hide their facial feature, like their expressions and what they do.
Mhm.
And they may think, oh, I'm wearing a mask, so no one's going to see. But when you've been doing this long enough, you see eyes, you see movement, you see the jaw move. You can
Things. Yeah.
see how people react. Just like I told her, I said, I can tell you right now, the girl that was sitting right there is getting bullied online. I can tell you the dude sitting right here is searching things and sending things he shouldn't be doing because he's asking about how to delete your search history, or
Hmm.
does incognito mode work? I
Right.
said, for anybody said, so I explained these things to these kids. I was like, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do. And some
Yeah.
parents just don't know how to be cognizant of it.
I think when I gave one of the talks to a group of kids, I think what did it for them was we were taught they were talking about something that happened online, and by that point the person had deleted the tweet, and they were like, oh yeah, so you'll never see it again. And I fired up like the Wayback Machine and was like, oh, you mean this right here? And they were like, wait, but it was deleted. And I'm like, once you put something on the internet, 9 times out of 10, like it's there forever. And my example is Beyonce,
Yeah.
right? So when Beyonce gave the performance and she had those ugly faces and they made the memes and all of that, like this isn't my final form. And the rumor was that she was trying to get it taken off of the internet. So I'm like, dude, if Beyonce can't do it, you're screwed,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that's what a lot of people don't realize is that, you know, what you say, what you post, what you send somebody, I don't care if it's in a DM or if it's a text message or what it is, always consider that information is now public.
Yeah.
So if it's not something you would want your mother to see, then you shouldn't send it to anybody.
Yep.
And that's really what I think a lot of people. And I was telling the kids, I was like, a lot of you probably feel like you're keyboard warriors. You're anonymous. Nobody knows who you are because you created a fake account. So, but let me tell you something. The way you talk under that account is the way you talk under your personal account. You just
Yeah.
think it's hidden. All I got to do is put the lines together and I can trace that back to you.
Yep.
So it's called social networking and social engineering. I can find out who you are,
Well,
and there's people
yeah,
better at it than I am.
exactly. Exactly. I actually started taking this like deep dive into a OSINT course, and it goes, I mean, it goes deep. And I thought I was pretty decent before, but I mean, some of the things that some of these malicious actors are doing, because that's where that's where the schooling comes in when you see what they're doing on that side of it. But real quick, let me just run through the comment section. Again, love from the pack. I love y'all once again. Thank you for supporting me week in and week out. You're the reason why I'm here and the reason why I do it. So real quick, shout out to Eric Bellardo. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's see, we have Professor Black Ops. So shout out to the chat. That was before he asked. That's before he wished for the good hair. JB. JB says, "Hey everyone, Jay. I was telling them that we linked up and ran into Mooch in DC, which was hilarious. That was good times hanging out with you and Ty and Caleb. So shout out to y'all. I think I saw Caleb in here. I see Tish is in here saying hello. So come to find out, Tish Harper. She's another Keatron Evans disciple.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's got a
So.
lot of good people. He's put out a lot of material lately. He is always on
Oh
LinkedIn.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I need to get him on the show and just I need to hit it like.
Well, me and him are supposed to be doing another show, so maybe it needs to be me, him, and you.
Well,
Um,
we have to set something up.
because we were talking about he had posted something or commented on a post on LinkedIn about people exploiting the like pay systems, like send money from your phone, like Venmo
Yeah.
and all that. And it's being exploited, and these kids are being taken advantage of in that way as well. Because, oh, well, I could just Venmo money. And
Right.
they don't know who they're sending it to. So I
Yep.
told him, I was like, me and you need to have an episode just about protecting the youth and teenagers and stuff like that have access to these things.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, because they think they can. I mean, Venmo. You can literally track what people are doing in your contacts with Venmo, right? And a lot of people don't know that you can turn it off, or they just don't care. And I remember um, when it first got disclosed, and Venmo was like, "Oh, that's not a problem. That's a feature." And then they added little emojis to it and everything like that. So now it's like, oh yeah, you can see what. Why do I need to see who in my contact sent people money for
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
So, but again, to my pack, thank y'all for the support. You got to come up with a hashtag this week for the. Actually, we're just gonna go hashtag humble bundle if you want to be entered into this week's giveaway, which again is the humble bundle software bundle where you get a bunch of different cybersecurity and cloud courses courtesy of Pluralsight, or you can get the humble bundle Python programming. Um, so do hashtag humble bundle, and I will add your name into the drawing. So let's get that moving. Again, this is InfoSec Unplugged. I am your host, Davin Jackson. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment. If you're here on YouTube, if you're here on Twitch, if you're here on LinkedIn, just please show the support, and also go check out Cyber Warriors channel too. He's got a lot of great content, and like and comment and support too. We got to get his numbers up so we can we can get this cybersecurity content thing rolling. So Derek, so I think so we talked about how you got started, and we talked about you being in the military and how you weren't really in the tech field per se when you were in. So how difficult was that transition from the military to civilian life?
Oh man. I guess for me it was easy. I never drank the Kool-Aid, right? So when I got in, I was
I
in the
love
Air
it.
National Guard initially.
Mm,
So I did that, and then when I went active duty Army, I wasn't airborne. I was supposed to, then I ended up having surgery and ended up not going.
yep.
And I worked at the Pentagon for probably a year and a half, 2 years, with a bunch of civilians. And so I never really agreed with the Army lifestyle, right? Like for me, seeing that PT and qual numbers, like your rifle qualifications, were more important than your ability to do your job or actually lead soldiers, weighed heavily on me. Seeing people get promoted just because they were friends with the sergeant major, um, they'd be able to get through boards. Like this sergeant major doesn't know half the people he interviews, from Adam, and yet they get promotable status because they know the NCO creed or something like that. And
Oh, jeez, yeah.
so I never really agreed with the Army's way of doing promotions and their way of doing a lot of things. Um, so for me, it was relatively easy, other than getting a job. Getting a job was the hardest part. It wasn't necessarily adapting to civilian life. I don't feel like I was any one of those ones that truly acclimated to military life, to be honest, other
Mm,
than the drinking habit, the smoking, and the caffeine addiction. Um, I was never gung ho PT or let's go to the range all day or let's jump out of airplanes. It was more I'm an IT guy. I'm a tech guy. I've always been a tech guy. So even if I wasn't necessarily doing it, like when I worked at Army TV, I was a broadcast engineer. Um, I still found a way to implement my IT knowledge into the job.
mm,
Um,
okay.
so for me, I always found that being IT and being tech, I didn't I didn't really have to acclimate to civilian life. I've been deployed. I've dealt with that. I think the hardest thing for me was being home all the time.
Right.
I wasn't going away to training anymore. I wasn't in the field anymore. I was home all the time. So then I
Hmm.
actually had to raise my kids and be with my wife. Something that I wasn't used to. You figure through the military, I'd been married and had kids all through the military. So, when you're gone 6 months out of a year, you don't really um, you're not sure how to interact with your family. And that has been the hardest part for me is actually being home. Not necessarily working, not interacting with others. I still, am who I am on the outside. It's just been being home and actually being there for my family has been the most difficult part, just because it's something that I haven't always been able to do.
Right. Yeah. It. A lot of people joke about it. Right. That it's not only just a physical transition or a job transition. There's almost like there's a mental transition too, because yeah, you meet people and you have friends and stuff like that in the service, but there's this sense of urgency,
Yep.
right? There's a sense of urgency that you always have to keep your head on a swivel. And this is before you do anything that puts you in harm's way to develop PTSD or anything like that, which a lot of us deal with.
Oh,
Uh,
that's my brother, man. He's in Texas. My boy Bizzle is, which is why I think it's funny that John uses Jay Bizzle because my buddy's name is Gregory Bizzell, spelled Bizzle. And it's he was he deals with PTSD. He deals with a lot, and me and him are on the phone. We don't talk as often as we should, but I try at least once a month to catch up with him and check in on him
yeah,
because he has no one down there with him.
yeah,
But I think that is one of the things that the military gives you that being a civilian doesn't. And that's it is very rare to have lifelong friendships develop when you're a civilian the whole time because
yeah,
you've never been broken down as a civilian. You've never had to work cohesively as a team unless you were on a sports team. But even then, doing it when you're younger and then doing it to get paid, like you really don't develop that family all the time. Some people do, but a lot of
yeah.
people don't. But in the military, that is something that you rely on. Like you have to have that trust and faith and be able to put your life in someone else's hands.
Hmm.
And I met a lot of great people. Bizzle just happens to be one of those guys that when me and my wife were going through hard times, I called him. If I
Right.
screwed up and I did something wrong, I called him. Like, dude, please help fix this. I screwed up.
Yeah.
Like I need you to fix this.
Yeah.
And it's because growing up, my friends were more than willing to let me put my ass in a fire and get burned and not be there for me.
Yeah.
Whereas meeting him, it's been, dude, don't do something stupid. Like,
Hmm.
if you do something stupid, I better be there with you, but don't do nothing
Yeah.
stupid. I can't
That's
be
stupid.
there.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
when it
That
came to
was.
like relationships and stuff, he was always the one that was like, dude, no, like,
Yeah.
don't be an idiot. And
Nah,
and so things like that you don't get very often anymore.
yeah. And the other thing with the civilian side of things is I feel like the civilian side, no matter who you are or where you're from, they need to do a better job of how veterans are treated and portrayed as well.
Oh, for sure.
Because they'll never understand what veterans go through if they never actually take the time to figure it out.
Well, and let's be clear on this because I went through two basic trainings. I went through
Mhm.
Air Force basic training in 2004 and Army basic training in 2010, 2011. Let's be honest. Basic training was initially designed to break you down so you knew how to work as a unit
Yeah,
to help prevent PTSD.
it's
Legitimately,
literally destroy and rebuild.
exactly. Because if you break it down, if you break someone mentally and then build them back up and build that resilience in them, then they will be able to handle stressful situations better. And I went through that in the Air Force, but in the Army, it was literally like they were teaching kids, and it was, we don't want to yell at you, we don't want to smoke you, we don't want to do these things, we want to teach you. And I walked up to my drill sergeant, and I said, "Am I literally and bluntly exactly what I said?" Mind you, I was an E5 when I went through Army Basic, but I walked up to him. This is an E6, and I said, "Am I in the right fucking place?" And he looked at me and he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "This is a joke." I was like, "The fact that you're telling people you don't want to do these things and you're not going to swear and you can't do more than 10 reps and you're,
Oh,
all
please.
this other stuff,
Who
that
can't do
this
more
is
than
a
oh,
damn joke." And we had people that graduated from there that
yeah.
still believed they were in the ghetto, that were literally sitting there saying, "You don't know where I come from. You don't know who I am. Dude, I will knock your teeth down your throat quicker than you can blink. All that matters is the uniform you have on, not where you came from, not who
Yeah,
your
no,
family
in
is."
basic, yeah, no, in basic, I'll agree with that. In basic, none of that really matters once you get into the thick of things, right?
Nope.
Because, like you said, the whole point of basic is to tear down the different statuses or whatever. Um, it does, and usually, honestly, the people who are from those situations that those other people talk about are usually the ones who don't talk about it, right?
Exactly, right? The
So
people that
so
actually came from that and were in that type of they came to the military for a reason.
right.
They wanted to get out of that. And so those are the people that are like 9 times out of 10 are teach me, help me, break me, make me a better
But even
person.
but even in dealing with some of the bullshit, like I remember my first night in basic, right? Remember my first night in basic, and how they did it was before the TIs came, they had like people from the graduating class come, and they're hazing the crap out of everybody. And I remember they were dumping out everybody's foot lockers, and they were just like throwing people's stuff out their bags, like they were going overboard with it, right? And I remember they got to my foot locker, and this is about like the second or third time that they were coming around to me. So by this time, I done took a padlock and I put it here in my hand, and I'm holding on to it. And one guy comes over, and the other guy sees it and goes, "What are you going to do with that padlock?" I said, "It depends on what you're going to do." Right? Because my brother was in the service, some of my closest friends were in the service. So I knew that there's going to be a certain level, but these guys, it was almost like you could tell like those were the ones who probably got picked on their entire
Oh
lives,
yeah.
and now they got here. So I remember holding on to it, and I remember one of the guys go, "You don't know where I'm from." And I was like, "I really don't care."
Right?
And then,
Like
right? And then he goes, "I'm from Connecticut." And I said, "Oh, what a coincidence. So am I." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm from I think he said he was from like Derby or Ansonia." And I chuckled. And he goes, "Where are you?" He goes, "Yeah, you're so bad. Where are you from?" I said, "Bridgeport." He goes, taps the two guys and goes, "Leave him the F alone."
Man, I
So,
remember I
so
remember walking up to a female soldier while in basic, and she was mouthing off, and I'm like, dude, I'm already tired. I don't need to be pushing. Like, I really don't. And I walked up to her. I said, "Shut the fuck up." And she looked at me.
oh
She goes,
jeez.
"You can't swear at me." I was like, "I can say whatever I want. Shut up. You're gonna get everybody in trouble, and I can say whatever I want right now because the whole point to this is to break you down. And if you still are in this whole mindset of I'm my own person, I don't care about anybody else, you are going to fail as a soldier. You're going to fail because you need to be a unit. You need to be able to rely on people. And if
No,
I
there's
can't rely
definitely
on you to keep me out of trouble, then I don't want to be any part. I don't want you anywhere in the army."
yeah. No, there's definitely a certain level of accountability that they teach that everybody should have. Um, I've heard stories that it's gotten a lot softer
So
since
bad.
since I went.
So bad.
But you come out, you transition into tech. You still deal with a lot of the things that you deal with, but you get into the field, and we're gonna I'm jumping ahead a little because I
You're
want
fine,
to
man.
talk about Keatron in a little bit. But what in your experiences now, because I think you touched on it where you saying it was finding that first job, but what were some of the challenges that you faced when you were trying to basically get your foot in that door?
Honestly, it was the lack of experience. So mind you, when I got out of the army, I had four, say four SAN certifications. I
Mm,
had my CEH, I had my CCNA security, CCNA cyber ops, and I had a bachelor's degree.
well,
And
damn.
yet still finding a job was almost impossible. Or at least I felt that way. I had many, many interviews and never got the job. One of which, rightfully so, it was an interview for Cisco Talos, and they were like, "Hey, you don't have the necessary skill set for this."
Hmm.
And I was like, in person, they were testing me on a bunch of stuff, and I couldn't disagree. I was like, "You're right." Like, I ain't even mad at it. But some of them, I never got a call back, or when you're talking to some of these health companies, around where I'm from, in the Pittsburgh area, they don't really give a reason. They just don't call. They don't tell you why. So that happened a lot. And I think part of it also was what I was looking for financially. At the time, with a wife and 5 kids, I couldn't really settle for bare minimum. I ended up settling for bare minimum at the time for my
Mm-hmm.
first job, but I didn't feel like I could. So a lot of what I was asking for coming out of the army was 80, 90, 100 grand. And that was very, very hard to come by, especially in this area with your first job out of the military.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I got turned down from one job, was because of my salary requirements. It wasn't because of my lack of knowledge; it was my salary requirements. And I know that because my dad, the company that it was, audited the company my dad worked for. So my dad knew the guy I was interviewing with, and my dad flat out told me, he goes, "You're asking for too much money."
Mm.
And so when I landed my first job finally, it was a big pay cut. Like, coming out of the army, you're supposed to be making, as an E6, which is what I retired as, technically should be making roughly 80 to 90 grand a year to equal what you make in the army between
Right.
benefits and everything else. Now, I lucked out. Being medically retired, I didn't have to worry about medical benefits. My family's covered, but still, salary wise, it was like, all right, so I need enough to pay rent, which, again, wife, 5 kids. So I need to be able to, rent a house. I can't rent an apartment. No apartment's going to fit my family. So there was a lot that went into it. And I ended up working for Sheets for the first 6 months. I was out that was my first job out, was as a level 11, so management type for Sheets. And I was making like 60 grand a year.
Mm.
Mind you, they were like, "Oh, the bonuses will equal to 80. You get bonuses every quarter." I said, "Yeah, but I can't pay my electric off of bonuses."
Yeah, and
So, you know,
one of these days we need to have. I had to come back on one of these days. I'm gonna do a group panel discussion about why certain things like bonuses and equity and stuff like that, like, they're good to have,
yeah.
but it's bullshit if you're not in the right situation, which brings me back to the which opens up another discussion about people who rush to get the bag. um but that's a whole other
Well,
story.
well, and the thing with it was, while I was working there, I got my CISSP. Mind you, I had to
Okay.
work through the studying. I was taking an online course. Told them I was going to be taking this course. I got it through Voc Rehab, and so it was completely paid for. They weren't paying a dime, and I went through it through InfoSec Institute again,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, well, you need to be on this meeting. Hey, you need to be doing this. Hey, you need to be doing that." And I'm like, "I told you guys 2, 3, 4 weeks ago that this is what I was doing this week. You wanted me to be here working or in the office, and now I can't even pay attention to the course." It was a mirror. Well, actually, I've been studying it and doing it for so long that I wasn't shocked that I passed, but at the same time, I was, because I couldn't pay a lick of attention because they had me out doing a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
Um, but bonuses suck. Well, they don't suck. If you're not making the salary to make ends meet, having a bonus as a reason to say your salary is lower is a,
Yeah,
because
that's where it sucks, right? Or if his bonus is where, even though it's performance based, it still depends on how well the company did, right? Like I like and they do certain things
that
to
was
screw
Sheets.
people over. So like I was at one job where they they did their company wide call, and they missed their goal as a company. They missed it by like a percentage point. It was like a half of a percentage point. So now these big bonuses that you promised everybody now got thrown out the window because the company missed their goal by like a half a, I like a half a
But I bet you
percent.
the CEO still got their bonuses.
Oh, the CEO. Oh yeah. Oh, they loved it. They were partying. Hell, they were giving the conversation. They were giving the talk, the Zoom call in Florida, while everybody was back up north. Like, right. So that's why I say the bonuses. Anytime I get a job where they say, "Oh, well, you get bonuses or you get equity," and I'm like, "That's cool, but my base salary still needs to be this," because there's no guarantee that the company's going to do well enough where the little stock options that you're giving me are going to turn to $100 a share by in the next 4 or 5 years after you finish divvying it up and getting fully vested. Or the bonuses. So what if you miss a half a percentage point? Like my last job, I was supposed to get like a $23,000 bonus. And then, oh, the company didn't do that well, so we'll give you like 8.
And the worst part about it,
and then taxes. So
that's what I was just gonna say. The worst part about it is a company's gonna say they're gonna give you a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 bonus. Cut that in half is what you get net. And that's why I never liked bonuses, because even though it may only be $5,000, but that tax percentage is still going to be like 48% of that bonus. And that, to me, I never could fathom that. So when someone's like, "Oh, I'll give you 20 grand," I'm like, "All right, so 10. All right." Yeah. Like, you might as well just like pay me 10 grand under the table, because that's what it's going to come to. And you see that in the Army a lot. Like, "Oh, I'll give you 100 grand bonus to re-enlist." And it's like, or any branch of the military. It's like, all right, so 50 G's.
And this is why people were risking their lives to go back overseas,
tax free,
so they can re-enlist and get that bonus tax free. But at what cost, right? Because now you're putting yourself in harm's you're putting yourself in harm's way to get money that should have been yours to be. See, man, look, I'm trying to behave myself. Season 2, I said I was going to be better.
But I never behave myself, David. Come on, this is me. You know it.
So I'm like, but yeah, that people were putting themselves in harm's way. Like, I have friends who went overseas because they were like, "Dude, I'm gonna go get this. I'm gonna go over there for 6 months, but I'm gonna re-enlist while I'm over there and get these 50 G's." And now they ended up, hitting an IED, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like,
and now the flip side of that is, you don't see that in the civilian world, right? You're not gonna, unless you're a contractor for the government, you're not gonna put yourself in those positions unless you're in public service, right? Firefighters, police officers, whatever the case may be, where your life can literally be on the line.
Right.
So those that are working civilian jobs, I beg of you, man, make your salary more worthwhile. If somebody's like, "Oh, I'll give you a quarterly bonus based on," no. I don't even care about the bonus. Take whatever you're going to give me as a bonus or maybe bonus, and just put it in my paycheck. Just give me a straight paycheck. I don't even care about a bonus.
Yeah, no, I've asked employers a couple times, like, "So y'all telling me this is guaranteed?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool. Do me a favor. Take about a third of that and put that into my salary."
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't come at me with total compensation. Don't don't tell me.
Don't pull the Army on me and be like, "Oh, so on the outside you'd have to make 80 grand to get what we give you." Or I look at the fact that I'm making $1,000 every other week,
right?
And I realize I'm making 40 grand a year.
You may give me something at the end of the year. Daniel says, "I guess you never walked the streets of Chicago." Listen, we're not talking about I have before. We're not talking about that. Clearly, there's some areas that we're clearly not.
Don't go down there.
They are
don't
exempt.
Take that one way.
Yeah, they are definitely exempt. But so now fast forward. Oh, let's see. We have we see Kiki here. Kalila Scott says, "Hey," and then we have Textual Chatter. He says, "Salute to everyone." So once again, everybody, we're gonna do the Humble Bundle giveaway. I'm giving away 2 Humble Bundles. So just put hashtag Humble Bundle in the chat if you want to register your name into the giveaway. We will do 2 of them fairly shortly. So, all right. So now fast forward. So you went through, you basically, you went through the mud to build yourself up. And now you're at a point where you're better off. I won't say you're there yet, because I don't think any of us are ever there yet. And I'll never say I always say never be satisfied. You know your worth and go and add.
For sure.
So now that you're at where you are, what's a day in the life of Derek Scheller, blue team operator?
Man, it's a lot of looking through and evaluating clients' networks right now, right? Helping them develop better vulnerability management programs, helping them develop a better SIM. I'm back in the trenches of logarithm again. So, dealing with some of that, dealing with a variety of different regulations. I try to help the GRC in the technical aspect. So if there's a policy or regulation that a company has to abide by, helping that company implement it, right? So whether it be you need to implement a SIM or MFA or SSO or whatever the case may be, helping them to secure their networks. And then, while at the same time, being a content creator, it's coming back to, all right, how do I give back to the community? How do I take what I know, take what I've done, and influence others to reach the success or reach their goals, right? So we all have dreams and goals. So that's the beauty of where I work is I have the ability to do my job full time, and get everything done, be there for all the clients, while at the same time being part of the community is very important for who I work for.
Mm.
So, you know, I get that, and they don't give me a hard time about putting out my YouTube show on Friday nights. They don't give me a hard time about my motivation Mondays or anything like that, because a I'm still getting my work done. B I'm still there full time. I'm sitting in front of my computer, God knows how many hours a day, and I've been able to help do so much to help the red team in pen testing, help blue teams, help the company, and what we're trying to do is grow. So, with all that, I've been on interview panels where we talk to people and we figure out whether or not they're going to be a fit, or at least have the back end knowledge, or the ability to learn what we're doing. Um, so that's a lot of it. And then, like I said, beyond cybersecurity, I mean, as well as I do, doing, content creation. There's graphic design and photo and video editing and photo editing and just everything else that it takes up a lot of time. Everything does that we do.
Yeah.
So when you're working full time for a company, on the same time, I'm trying to be more involved with Raices and what Eric Bellardo is doing, and helping as a technical director, while still being a content creator and doing what I do there. It's rough, and it's hard, but for me it's worth it because I keep up the technical side by working full time, while at the same time I'm able to interview others and speak on topics that many others can't, because I have this, where I'm at, I interact with all the different teams, so I'm able to speak on everything. Whereas some people are like, "Oh, I'm just blue team. I'm just red team. I'm just GRC. I can't talk to anything else." I can literally talk to just about anything. Now, I may not have the breadth of knowledge or the depth of knowledge that a lot of people have, but
Right.
I can at least speak to it and ask questions about it and understand when people talk about it. And so that's why I've been able to get so many different people on my show, because I understand what they're saying. So many people fear that, and fear that they don't have that knowledge, and so they pick and choose who they want.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that.
No, I think that's, and we're gonna touch on you starting Cyber Warrior Studios in a second, but I definitely feel like that's important in this field, right? To not have your own echo chambers, especially when there's so many different aspects of cybersecurity that all need to play well together
Yep.
in order for an organization to truly be
Oh, for sure.
secure, right?
I mean, look at it this way. So many people discount GRC, your governance, risk, and compliance.
Yeah.
But it is a major part of cybersecurity, because if you don't have GRC, companies aren't going to be willing to actually secure their networks. Well, some, I'd say the vast majority no, but some will. But generally speaking, it's just not that way. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, it's just not what they want to do because, well, we don't have a reason to.
well, what's the C in GRC compliance? These days, you have to be compliant, right? Granted, you have some compliances where it's like, oh, it's not enforced like PCI or whatever, but the goal is everybody needs to be compliant, especially if you're like a tech startup or you're some. If you want to be taken seriously, or if you really want the company to be successful financially, you have to be compliant.
Oh, for
So
sure.
so GRC is needed. Technical writers are needed. Programmers are needed.
And they're
You know,
all
all right.
needed.
They're
But
right.
we like to close ourselves off. Well, not we, but
Yeah.
a lot of us and a lot of people in cybersecurity close themselves off and are like, oh, well, you can't be in cybersecurity if you don't know programming. You can't be in cybersecurity if you don't know this. You can't look, man. There are people in
Ooh.
cybersecurity who literally know nothing but regulation and how to manage risk. Is this server accessible to the internet? Yes. It poses the highest risk to your organization, so you need to secure it. I'm going to let my technical person tell you how to secure that. I just had Andrew.
Or you're a project manager, or you have a bunch of people who work for you, so you don't know how to do coding. How you're a fraud. I'm trying to be.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know exact. You know who I'm talking about. Damn it. So anyway, anyway, see, motherfucker. You go ahead, you get in the field, and you start Cyber Warrior Studios. Talk through that process.
So
Ooh.
funny enough, I started Cyber Warrior Studios, not by name, mind you. The name has changed over the years. I started that when I got out of the Army and got my first job. So it was originally, I was going to try to start my own company. And so the original name was Scheller Cybersecurity. And one of my first videos out there was actually a long tangent, probably about half hour to an hour long, of how horrendous the hiring process is and the interviewing process is to getting a job in cybersecurity. From there, it kind of evolved. And then as I decided I wasn't going to have my own consulting company or training company with Scheller Cybersecurity, I wanted to do something different. And so I looked at it, and I've gone by the moniker that handles Cyber Warrior for a while because of my time in the military and my passion and my love for cybersecurity. So unlike some who get handed their monikers or their handles by others, I chose mine myself. Notice there's no letters or numbers in it. I don't use leet speak. It is who I am.
You're not elite
And
hardcore.
I did that in such a way, and I did it for a reason, is that eventually I feel like we need to have a dedicated platform just for cybersecurity and IT. I'd like it all because I think if you don't talk to your IT team, if there's no communication, if you don't know how to secure your server as a sysadmin and do GPOs correctly, then you're missing out. So there's a lot of interaction, a lot of communication that can go through the chain. So I started Cyber Warrior Studios because my end goal is now, was then, and will always be to eventually have a dedicated platform just for IT and cybersecurity content. And that's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a streaming service. I don't know if I'm going to find a way to get a channel on like Comcast and your cable networks or whatever. But that's why I started Cyber Warrior Studios, because it's something that I feel we need more of is cybersecurity content. We need more ways to get information to the masses. And let's be honest, getting the right tags and having to worry about getting through all the nonsense that is YouTube and Twitch and everything else to be able to get your videos seen is a hassle. It's all about algorithms and marketing and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Where if I just had to market a streaming service to get you, Eric, Shannon Morris, and anybody else seen, all I had to do was market a streaming service. You all get paid, not based on, oh, well, you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers before you get paid. No. I'm going to contract you. I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars, whether it's based on hours that somebody watches your content or whatever the case may be. That is the end goal, is to eventually have a service dedicated to IT and cybersecurity. Yep. And that's all it will be. There will be no music videos or things that can distract your attention, because we do. We're distracted easily. People are like, oh, watch this video on cybersecurity. And then I'm like, oh, there's a wrestling video up real quick. Hold up, let me watch that.
Yep.
Hey, there's a new music reaction video out from one of my favorite reactors. Let me watch that. Like, so these things take away. Whereas if you limit that, if you eliminate that, and you make it just what the target audience is, then it makes it easier. And it gets that content out there, and it allows you to be seen. It allows these people that are trying to get jobs and try to move up in the world and try to do conferences and this, that, and the other. It allows them to be seen. And that's why I
Right.
love what you do. I love what I do. I love what Eric does, because it gives this opportunity for so many people to be seen that wouldn't normally be seen
That
and normally be
exactly.
heard.
And I think that's the most important part of it is like people ask all the time like, oh, why, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? I'm like, because yes, would I like more viewership, would I like marketing, would I like to get on that algorithm wave or whatever, absolutely. But I'm also trying to present a platform to people who haven't been able to speak, right, or who feel like they're not there yet.
Exactly.
Not for
Exactly.
nothing,
And that's,
that's how it started, because I wasn't there yet, right? And
yep.
being on your show, being on CW InfoSec show, Dwan Lightfoot, Tech Every Day, Lab Every Day.
You know,
Uh,
we're fighting because you've been on more shows than me, and I've been around longer.
well, see, that's what happens when you put something out. You put a challenge out on Twitter, and then you have to hold yourself accountable, and you're a man of your word. Because that's literally what happened. I said I'm challenging myself to get over my fear, and I'm going to speak more. So, does anybody want to put me on their platform? And everybody said, "Here, here, 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 here," and
But
I was like,
that's because, Davin, whether or not, and me and you talked about this on our show, and we talked about it before you were on my show. The amount of information you have and the amount of things you've done have helped the community and helped yourself in such a way that you got to get over that fear, because a lot of people have that fear. They feel imposter syndrome and they feel like they don't have anything to give back. When the
mhm,
reality of it is, that is something that, even though I suffer from imposter syndrome, I do. We all know.
mhm,
I have never felt like I shouldn't do this,
right,
because when I do my show, when I do what I do, it's not about me. It's about the person coming on. So seeing someone like David Fraley make shit
yep,
go up and just skyrocket after he was on the show, seeing someone like you do InfoSec Unplugged and put yourself out there and do this every week was amazing. And these things, so it's funny because even though my show necessarily doesn't hit the numbers that all these other shows do, it's not about that. It gave you the platform to put yourself out there the first time and actually
mhm,
succeed. And so, do I want to get more viewers? Do I want to get more subscribers? Yeah, sure. But I don't want it to be because of tech videos and something that everybody else under the sun does.
yeah,
Like, I that's not me. I want it to be because some people enjoy seeing the interviews and seeing the talks and seeing those that maybe otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to see at a conference actually speak and present themselves and tell you their story, tell you about their field, tell you about whatever job it is they're doing. That's what I enjoy from it, because then it gives somebody else that viewpoint of, oh, I can do this too. I can make it. I can do these things.
right.
And that's what I get from it.
So real quick, so I'm actually going to give you an opportunity to plug your show right now. And while you're doing that, ladies and gentlemen, this is your last chance to put your name in the running for the Humble Bundle giveaway. So Derek, while I go ahead and look through these chats to see if I get some more Humble Bundle comments, you go ahead and plug Security Happy Hour.
So yes, tomorrow on Security Happy Hour, I have the Cyber Reverend Marcus Bowie. He will be on. We're going to be talking blue team training and his journey altogether, plus doing a Q&A. So make sure you're there to ask questions and get those questions answered, whether it be from me or from him. And of course, my partner in crime, Eric Bellardo, unless he changes his mind, will be on the show as well, as he is every week. And that started probably about 6 weeks ago, give or take. But yeah, every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we do Security Happy Hour. Every Monday, or most Mondays, I post Motivational Monday. So Cyber Warrior Studios on YouTube is where it's at. InfoSec Unplugged, but I used to cyber on Wednesdays, on Eric Bellardo's show. I can go through a slew of them, but at the end of the day, look, security happy hour. We drink, we have a good time. I have no filter. Usually, I tell my guests not to have a filter either because that's the point of the show is to not have one. And it's all going to be a good time, as it always is. So make sure you're there. If you haven't watched any episodes yet, if you don't know anything about it, please head over to my YouTube channel, Cyber Warrior Studios, and take a look. Make sure you subscribe, like any videos, and share as much as possible. The more you guys share, whether it be InfoSec Unplugged, Security Happy Hour, Eric Bellardo, Sexu, any of these content creators, the more you share their videos, the more YouTube will actually put them up for others and show them to others so that others can be seen. Seriously. That's what I think a lot of people forget is that you have to comment. You have to like. I don't care if your comment is awesome show or you suck. It does not matter. Every dislike, every like, and every comment is engagement, and it gets that video out so that other people can see it. And absolutely. That is something that we do these live shows, Davin, and I think people forget to go back and actually comment later on because you have to do that, or else YouTube will be like, "Oh, this show wasn't popular. We don't care."
Yeah, you even though it's like, oh, we see that spike, but it must have been a glitch. So we're gonna dump it back. Yeah. It had that TikTok bias, right? But so let's see here. All right, so I'm looking. All right, so it looks like we have the list of names already. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, people. And no one wants no. I mean, Pluralsight does have good content. It's security and cloud, and it's something like 25 courses. So, and you're getting it for free. So all you have to do is type in Humble Bundle. There's a bunch of you here. So if you haven't done so yet, throw it in there and let's go. In the meantime, I'm going to go through some of these comments. I see Eric was telling me to behave myself and cool it. But then we also have Caleb Studio Sec was like, yes, let's go and say it. But no, I'm gonna and Princeton B says name and shame. I you know what?
I'm gonna leave it go because he's gone quiet. He's gone dark lately.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter this week, so
I've barely been on. But what little I've been on, I haven't seen much about it.
I'm pretty sure now that you brought it up, it's going to be like Candyman, like you say it enough. And
no, that's why you don't say his name. Don't say his name 3 times, and you'll be all right. Like Beetlejuice.
Kiki said no.
But at the end of the day, look, what we do and what you do, Davin, is amazing. And it's funny because I shared the video last week, I think, of you and Shannon Morris being on my show.
Yes,
where Shannon finally called you a friend.
Yeah. No, I was like, I think I actually said, I was like, I'm on a fucking stream with Snub. Like, think about you get into the game, and everybody who gets into cybersecurity at one point or the other, Eric said, went quiet. Well, I'm behaving myself, but everybody. But back to Snubs. Everybody who gets in the game at some point knows about Hack 5 and has seen Darren Kitchen and Snubs videos. So it was like, what? I'm on a show where she knows my name. What? Like, yeah, that was a moment, right? And
it is, dude. I called her out one episode because I've been a patron of hers for years now. Mm-hmm. And one episode I remember I called her out. I was like, look, I don't know if Shannon Morris actually watches these, and I said something, and I kid you not, like a day or two later, I had a comment on that exact same video from her that said, oh no, I watch. I was like, oh shit. Holy fuck, she actually watches. All right, cool. I made it. You know what? I'll take I think at the time it was like 1,400 subscribers. I was like, I'll take it.
I'll do my victory lap. Yep. So let's see here. Randy says, really behaving. Nah, Randy, I am. Hey, did you put your name in the? Did you do the Humble Bundle? I'm going through. All right, so Eric said, and he called me. So, all right. So we're gonna go through the list. Let me see if I can share this. She said something. Let's see. I'm see if I can share this screen. The last time I tried to do it, it didn't wanna. It didn't want to cooperate. So we're gonna switch screens. There we go. Share audio. All right. So we'll do this. We'll bring this screen up. All right. So we have Tish, Famsec, James OS, Randy, Eric B, Sengia, JB, Princeton, E Brown, hey sis, PBO, and Nello. Oh, Randy said he did it twice. My fault, sir. Thank you for correcting me. See, and we have Andrew. All right, cool. So 3, 2. All right, Princeton, congratulations. You have won your choice of the Humble Bundle Python giveaway or the Humble Bundle Cybersecurity and Cloud giveaway. You know what? Let's do one more. Let's just do one more. I'm feeling generous. It was a good week. Professor Black Ops. There we go, Professor Black Ops. You won again. So let me know. So let's see, Princeton and Professor Black Ops. Send me a message on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you know how to reach me with your with your information, so we can get that over to you, and let me know which bundle you want. If you say Python or Cloud and Cybersecurity. Oops. Oh, we see. No. Sorry. Before I do that, stop. Sorry, JB. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that one real quick. I want to add, I see a couple more names. Sorry. Take out everyone's name and leave mine, then spin it again. Let's see. I don't know, Tish. Let's see if I don't know how that would work. All right, so let's go. We do one more. All right, JB. So look, the odds were in your favor. Chaos Reign says how does one play? You have to do hashtag Humble Bundle. Daniel says it was fixed. All right. Ball don't.
Of course he would.
All right, so everybody hit me up on, like I said, in order to be obviously you got to be subscribed, you got to be following me, so send me a DM and let me know which one you want, and we will get that squared away and send that over to you. So I need your email, which one you want, and what email, which one. Yeah, just the email and which one you want. Randy, your name is third from the bottom. So you see it goes Ashley, Andrew, and then Randy right there. So
again on
All right, so let's see here. We'll go. We'll come back here. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up before we get to the Q&A. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll do one more. So again, just add your name in the comments. Add Humble Bundle in the comments. Like I said, those who have already won, I've taken their names out. So we have Professor Black Ops.
Humble Bundle. Hashtag Humble Bundle.
Yes,
if you already won, don't do it again.
Yes. All right. So where are we now? Oh yeah. So I wanted to let me get this comment up out of here. Wanted to take a moment to talk about our mentor, Keatron Evans. You talk about people who really, it's like fly under the radar. right? I mean, unless you know him, you don't know him, right? Or you're familiar with InfoSec Institute. So wanted to take a moment because I bring him up all the time, and I'm not sure if people just think I'm just talking just to talk. So I'm gonna let you talk about the genius of this man that we know is InfoSec Keatron on Twitter.
Dude, so InfoSec Keatron on Twitter, Keatron Evans on LinkedIn. Um, the man taught me a lot. Um, his ability to develop exploits and be an offensive security person while at the same time understands the defensive side and how to actually secure infrastructure blows me away. So he was my CEH instructor back in 2014, I think, maybe 15. I can't remember it exactly. But he I remember going through that course, and when it came to, oh, this is the CEH stuff, it was like, yeah, okay, this stuff's important to pass the test. Understand that. We're going to talk about how to do the job. And when he showed me some of the exploits that he had written and some of the things that he had done, I was blown away.
Yep.
Um, he showed me, and I think we talked about this on the episode you were on, Dav, and he showed me an exploit. And again, this is going back a few years, so before Windows 10 and all that stuff, um, where it was we were talking about covering your tracks.
Yep.
And he was like, "All right, so I'm gonna show you this exploit." And he goes, and it's already out on Exploit DB and or Virus Total and all this other stuff. So the hash for it was out there. So he gave it to us willingly. He was like, "You can play with it and this, that, the other, but you're not going to be able to use it because every antivirus under the sun is going to find it." He was like, "But here's the thing." He goes, "When he originally designed it, it was about covering your tracks." So he said, "All right, if I type this in, it'll hide these certain files, which means it'll hide itself from processes and from, I think it was Netstat also. Like he found a way to get it to hide from just about everything." He goes, "Now you got to cover your tracks. So what do you do?" He was like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy. You hide the system files from this operating system itself." What do you mean? He literally hid system files so
Yep.
that when he hit enter, the screen blue screen. He said, "What do most sysadmins do
Yep.
whenever there's a blue screen?" Well, you revert to old if it's a virtual machine, or you redo the entire computer or restore from backup if it's not. So they had no way. He was like, again, it has nothing to do with the virus not being there or not being able to find it. There's ways you can restore those files and get it to work without it. But the first knee jerk reaction is to just basically redo the entire system.
Yep.
So he was
Blow it
like,
up.
that's the easiest way to cover your tracks because if they're going to redo the system for you, they'd already hit everything you did.
Yeah, they do it for you.
Yep.
Yep. For me, on a different level, I remember basically taking the money I had saved because I knew I wanted to get into cybersecurity. The school system that I worked for had no problem with me working cybersecurity until I wanted to take it seriously. And then it was like, well, you're on your own. There's no money in the budget. And I remember saving the money uh, for InfoSec Institute because at that time there was some situation with Voc Rehab, so I came out of my own pocket because I was like, I can't wait for I can't wait for the whole process. And I drove down to Virginia for a week,
Oh,
and
hey, that's where mine was.
yeah, I drove to Virginia, and class started Monday morning, and I remember I had like an anxiety attack like Sunday night, like what the hell am I doing? I just like blew. I saved all this money. It wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't like my bill money, but it was like I saved all this money and I blew it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna walk in here and not know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm probably gonna be the only black guy in the room, and I was just like, I am so screwed. And I remember I walked in there, and sure enough, all of that stuff was true, and and the
And your
panic attack
instructor was black.
started. Yeah, the panic attack started, and then in comes Keatron, and he's like, "All right, guys, we're gonna get started in a few minutes." And I remember thinking, "Oh, okay, all right, cool." And then sitting there and watching him just talk about his experience, how he came up and he went to college and all the stuff that he's done. And he does it in a way where he lets you know that he's the shit
He does it,
without
but he does
letting
it
you know.
humbly. He
Yes,
is
he
very
does. Like,
humble about
yeah,
it.
he's very humble. It's like he doesn't come in and he's like, but he lets you know, like, I'm kind of a big deal in these streets. But he also leaves you thinking that you too can also be a big deal.
And
And
yeah, and me and him talk about it a lot because I always ask him, I'm like, all right, so when you do this, he has like 5 companies he owns.
yes,
He
yep,
has a different company for each avenue of what he does. Training, so for InfoSec Institute, because he's a contractor for them, he has a
hmm
company for that. He has a company for consulting. He has a company for like 5 other things he does. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
yeah,
Like, how do you keep track of all this shit? I can barely run my own LLC, and here you are with like 10 different companies.
yeah. No, he like, and I think the one thing I took away from it was the fact that he um he was willing to sit with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking till 1, 2 in the morning,
He would sit,
and
no
and
problem.
and break it, and not talk over your head. Like, he would say it and go, "Are you following? All right, so check this out," and then break it down
Yep.
for you. And I just remembered walking out of that class and taking this. I take the CEH, and it was just like, psst. And then he was like, "All right, now do this other one, right? The CPT," and it was like that one I felt was more
The
interesting.
IACRB CPT.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
took
because
that one too. The
yeah,
paper test was easy.
right.
When
And
I
then you
was
get
doing,
the
dude,
the
I hit him up. I'm like, dude, I'm missing something. He goes,
yeah,
I can't give you the answer.
no, but you know what I loved about it? And then he brings out his nerddom or geekdom, right? Because then you ask certain things and he'll go, that was the right question, right? Like from like quoting like
Yep.
iRobot. But yeah, he never tells you the answer.
No.
But you ask the question and he goes, that's the right
And
question.
he was very forward and like, you have everything you need in front of you.
Yep.
You've been taught everything you need to do. Just
Yep.
do it. And
Or
so
or
it
yeah,
it
or he'd be like,
took a
go,
while.
he'd be like, go back and look at the exercises. Like I literally did those like I kept those VMs and shit for like
Dude, I still have his backtrack Linux with a Perl shell
wow.
because that is what. And I asked him about it. I said, "Why do you have 3 versions?" Because at the time, Kali wasn't out. Why
Yeah.
do you have 3 versions of backtrack? He was like, "Because you keep the most updated. Because sometimes what you need is there, but
Yep.
sometimes when you're doing a pen test or doing something else or an exploit, the newer stuff don't work. You need to go back to what worked." He
Yeah.
goes, "So you keep the older stuff." And I was like, holy shit. So ever since then, I have ISOs and images of like every variation of, an offensive security tool. Because if you go in and you're like, oh, I'm going to run Ubuntu with the newest stuff, like even if you develop your own operating system or your own distro for yourself, right? You do an Ubuntu VM and that's all you use. You're still updating it all the way because every time you do it, you're going to update the operating system, whatever. But if you keep these ISOs of like the old backtrack, like I'm talking I think BT2 was out when I took it, maybe BT3. And then you have Kali, and then now you have Kali rolling. And you have all these different things. If you have these different ISOs along the way, it it gives you the ability. So with like Windows XP or Mac or Linux, it gives you the ability to exploit things in a different way with a code or with a shell that maybe someone isn't looking for anymore. And maybe an exploit worked the way it was written on Backtrack, but it's not working now on the way it's written on Kali and in the newest Metasploit.
Hmm.
So as a pen tester and you're using these tools, um, it really lends to the capability. What always astounded me was he used a Perl shell. That was probably the thing that shocked me the most over a standard shell. As soon as you logged into
Yeah.
his shell, it said in Perl, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I blew my mind. But he was very meticulous in what he did, and he had a reason behind everything. So even though he scripted a lot of stuff, it always had a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we get away from is there has to be a purpose to everything you do.
Yep.
And that's been the hardest part for me is I don't script very much unless my job asks me to, because I don't have a purpose to. For me, it's quicker for just do it. But
Yeah.
for others, where tasks are monotonous, scripting comes in handy. I now actually I'm supposed to do it this week and I haven't done it. The Discover Scripts by Lee Baird. I'm supposed to help convert some of the tools out there by Jay Townsend to Python 3. And I was like, yeah, I'll help. And this week I've been so sidetracked at work and doing my full-time job, I just haven't had the time to do it.
Yeah.
But that's the goal is to like I get involved in these different projects, especially Lee Baird's, because the Discover Scripts, I'm sorry. For anybody listening, if you have not used the Discover Scripts for OSINT and for the recon portion of your pen test, you're missing out because it seriously speeds up your enumeration, especially when you're using tools like Recon NG and the Harvester and the Goo DNS and DNS Recon and all that other stuff. It's amazing what the Discover Scripts can do. But I've been in their Slack channel for a while. Like me and Lee Baird, I got a hold of him one day because his cell phone number was in a GitHub response. And I literally called him and was like, hey, dude, did you mean to have your cell phone number here? No, you might want to remove it. Just let you know it's there now. Ever since then, me and him have been on Slack. We talk
that's a
like
hell
all
of
the
a
time.
first impression. All right, so we're going to wrap it up shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for my guests, put them in now. And also remember to throw in that hashtag humble bundle if you haven't done so already. We'll do one more at the end of the show. So, I'm going to get, Derek, we're going to do 3 tips for content creation. And then we're going to go into 3 tips you would give for new people in tech. So, let's start with content creation first.
3 tips for content creation. Ooh. Do your research. Hashtags and not just hashtags, the
SEO.
Yeah, like the tags you could put in YouTube itself are very vital. Using things like TubeBuddy and Vid something or other. I don't use it.
vidIQ.
vidIQ. Yeah, those 2 tools are amazing. And then the hashtags in your description itself. With those, you can get seen more. What I have found is tech videos tend to do better than interviews, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to do. So if you want to promote yourself with content creation, start getting into every single social media, whether it's TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever the case may be. That's how you promote yourself and literally connect with everybody. I know on Twitter we see a lot of, oh, don't talk to this person because of whatever drama happened. At the end of the day, it's still a viewer. It's still somebody. So I don't ban or block or ignore people. I legitimately try to post videos, and it's all about my brand. And as long as I know I'm doing the right thing, I don't care who I'm connected to. I'm going to sit there and put eyes on. And that's what content creation should be about if you're trying to market yourself and make a living from it, which I can't. It's an expense. But what people that can do it, it's very much just go ahead and promote yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. It's all about you, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, we see drama all the time. If you're on Twitter, that's all you see. So much drama.
Like
but yeah, very much just promote yourself.
Yeah, me, it depends. Like, because I get, it's crazy that I get a lot of heat.
Why?
For the people, because I let people talk about their challenges and their adversities, right? Like I got a real colorful one on my blog post where, because I repurposed my content through my blog, and when I did the Blacks in Cybersecurity, and I got a couple nasty messages there. A lot of the times when I interview women in here, there was one guy in particular who demanded to see their credentials. Right?
Look, Devin, you know me. I'm as controversial as the next person that lends to the fact that we'll sit there and say, things things are bad. Things
Yeah.
things need to change. I don't think they're as bad as some people make it out to be, but there's definitely things that need to change.
I definitely feel like I definitely feel like there are why is my thing why
I
the
don't
f-
know. I've been seeing your screen flicker for like the past 20 minutes. I figured you knew.
no, let me hold on.
Are you
Maybe
still sharing a screen or something?
yeah, I think that's what it is. Nope, it's still doing after I shared it. All right, so it's probably telling me I need to hurry up. But I feel like there are a lot of people who have legitimate issues and legitimate gripes, and there are legitimate issues and
Mhm,
legitimate gripes to have.
for sure.
I do feel like there are a lot of people there are some people who are using this as an opportunity on both sides.
Yeah.
There's people who use it as an opportunity to make them play themselves up as a victim, and then you have some people who are using this as an opportunity to boost themselves up as an ally, but they're not really genuine in their allyship.
Yes.
Um, and unfortunately, because drama sells, those are the people who get amplified. So now, when the people who have a legitimate issue come around, this is where now when you say it's not as bad as it is, because now you done dealt with so many people who are using it for the wrong reasons, as opposed to the people who legitimately have it. And now the people who legitimately have the issues have to fight twice as hard to prove that there's an actual issue, because you have other people who done mess it up, who basically rotten apples that spoiled it for the
And
bunch.
this comes back to the whole virtuism, right? Or virtue signaling. You got so many people out there that virtue signal. They're like, oh, this, and this, but then at the same time, they don't give a damn. They're
Right.
just out there to boost what they do. But, and I will say this, and Devin, you know I love you. I have found that it is very difficult when you have groups that support each other,
Uh-huh.
but you can't be a part of that group. So who's going to support you?
Well, who says you can't? Who says you can't be a part of the group? Because for example, there were people who said like a lot of the women's groups, right? Like let's take Mary Galloway's Women in Cyber Jutsu group,
Oh, dude, I
and,
love that group.
and they used to be like, oh, it's only for women, is crap, and you actually look, and it's like, no, there's actually a lot of men who are members
Well,
of
and
it,
again, it comes down to research.
right?
It comes
Oh,
down to
right.
doing your research.
Should those people should people be vilified for their ignorance and their assumptions?
Hell no. Well, yeah.
Exactly. Right. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
hold on.
Like
If
even the
it's
black
there,
and fiber, like
if it's that, if ignorance is
yes,
a lack of intelligence
knowledge.
and your
Right.
unwillingness to do your research,
Mm-hmm.
if you are unwilling to research something, then yes.
Okay.
But if you have done your research and have found a group to
That's
legitimately
that yes. Then
blacklist people based on, oh, well, this group is for this sect of people only,
oh right.
then that's a problem.
Well then like yeah, and so then for that situation, it's like okay, then that's where a conversation needs to be had, where if you're in the position of wanting to be an ally, you need to ask them, how can I be an ally of something that I don't know anything about?
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not gonna put my name behind I'm not gonna put my name behind a group that I don't know anything about.
And
Let me, you know what I'm saying?
that's why I love Tech Sec Chicks. I love Kalila and everything she's doing. I love Blacks in Cyber. Vic,
Yeah.
you see me promote them all the time. Raices, like I said, I'm a technical director for them. So it's all about developing these relationships.
And I think the
And
other thing is people just don't like to have conversations anymore.
and
People
oh
want to be
man,
in their
people are afraid of the conversation.
people want to be in their echo chambers, and people just want to make assumptions. And it's safe for them that way. And
That's but you see it, and you know it's funny. You said it. You see it on both sides.
yeah,
Both
no, you
sides
know
want to
you
be in
do.
their echo
Okay,
chambers. If
hell,
you only
just
think what I
just
think.
like hold on, just like the same person that we hit, their name will remain nameless because I don't want to bring it up like Beetlejuice. But you can't run around saying that you're here for the people, but then at the same time you're threatening the people.
Yep.
You can't be for the people and then threaten to hurt the people. You can't say you're here to support the people and you're going to be an
And
advocate
when
for the
your
people,
spot is blown
and then
up and you're found to be wrong, I'm gonna dox you.
now
I'm
you're
gonna blow up your
doxing the
spot and
people and
put
you're
out your
harassing the
information.
people, and you're coming and you're calling them insults. So to me, you're full of shit. So now you to me you're worse. You're worse than the people who are the gatekeepers because you're
Yes.
pretending to be You're pretending to be someone who's for the people. But then when the people are like, listen, that's not what we going with, you're like, yo, fuck you. And then all of a sudden, you're the victim.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays
So,
the victim a lot. He does.
okay.
He plays that victim card a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you play the victim, but that's the thing. You throw rocks and hide your hand because you play the victim, but now the same people that you're victimizing while playing the victim are showing their emails where you're victimizing them in their text messages, their DMs, you're doxing them. And come on, fam. Like stop. Like stop. And
Yep.
and I keep telling people, like, ladies and gentlemen,
Eric just said, check your blood pressure. Dude, so look, I think we had an actual question in here. I think.
No. Eric asked why we were handsome, and I told him I don't know.
Is there really no other questions? Come on, man. You got Gavin and myself.
I saw Tish said something about she's taking on so much she feels like she's taking on so much to learn. How can I tell if I'm overstudying or not?
When you quit remembering.
Yeah, when you're literally looking at the words and the words start looking at you, and I'm not talking about like you're just staring at it, like the words actually grow eyes and they're reading you while you're trying to read it. That's when you know you've gone too far.
And here's what I say a lot. When it comes to studying, it's literally give yourself an hour, give or take, usually less, and then take a break, step away, do something else.
Pomodoro method. Set an alarm for every 20 to 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Go hard for that, right? Move your phone somewhere else to the other side.
Put your phone in a different room, on the charger, whatever.
No. Like put your phone somewhere else on the other side of the room, but set the alarm on that phone for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Sit down, go, and then when that alarm goes off, get up, stretch, look at your phone, check your social media for about 5-10 minutes, then go back.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. And then Kalila says that's so true.
It is important to take breaks. And then Tish, once again, how to remedy that the practical kills her. See, here's the thing. The practical is the important part. If you are very much a reader and, prefer to visualize the words, and that's easier to you, I'm gonna lay it out. I got told today at my kids' junior high, and I'm gonna say it here, very blunt in the way I talk. If you're more of a reader, you're probably more policy. If you can't learn the practical or can't do the practical, and this isn't to discourage you, it's to say you might be better suited for GRC. Now, if you can find a way to wrap your head around the practical and actually get your hands on a keyboard and be able to study it and do the work, that will help develop that. And again, Gavin may think differently.
I was going to say, so I agree. It depends on what you want to do, because I mean, you can read along on some pen testing books or some blog posts. I think the first ones that come to mind are the Hacker Playbook. Like literally,
dude, the Hacker Playbook's awesome.
Right? And then you could actually buy the ebook version and copy and paste the commands and learn the commands. So it all just depends. It depends on how you apply it. Like I like to read stuff, so that's really how the blog started. So I read it, but then I also have my screenshots and everything like that. Eric says, "Do you have a blog?" Nah, I don't have a blog.
I don't have. Dude, I need to redevelop mine. I used to. I've had several articles I put out.
Yeah.
And then I ripped it away when I got rid of Scheller Cybersecurity. I got to revamp it for Cyber Warrior Studios.
Yeah. I'm actually working on a revamp for mine. And it's going to have the blog elements, but it's also, I'm revamping it to incorporate a lot of the podcast stuff. All right. So real quick. Okay. So we did the content creation tips, and then tips for anybody who are getting into cyber. Ready?
Don't be scared.
Go. There you go.
That's the biggest thing I can say is don't be scared, because when you're getting into cybersecurity, first you have to figure out what you want to do. In order to do that, you have to get that breadth of knowledge, right? So you have to be able to understand what every variation of cyber is. If you don't understand every variation, you're going to look at what looks sexy. Red team always looks sexy to people in pen testing and everything else, but it's not always really what's going to attract you. So if you understand that there is GRC and there is blue team and there is these other the variations, reverse engineering malware and exploit development, and then working with SIM and firewalls and policy and procedure and guidance, you have to have an understanding of everything. Honestly, the biggest tip and advice I could give is study the CISP book, just because that'll give you a managerial mindset of how organizations view cybersecurity. So it isn't even to take your CISP. It's just to give you that understanding of what all the different areas of security are. And then on top of that, find a way to look up either what's covered in the GSEC from SANS or what's covered in the Security Plus. Because if you understand those, then you'll get that breadth of knowledge that could say, okay, I want to do this, that, or the other. And
Yep.
then you concentrate on what you really feel will guide you and really touches you into learning more.
Yep, I agree 100%. I'm thinking I would probably throw in Sec Plus. I mean, for one, I always say just research what it is exactly what you want to do, but I would say Sec Plus. I hesitate to say CEH. For
Look, the CEH, the content is if you study the content in the syllabus, I'm not saying go for the certification, even though they have the master certification right now. God damn it, Dad. Give me a minute. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not saying do the full CEH. If you do, you do. I mean, it's still an industry
it's
recognized certification.
it's a necessary evil, in my opinion, at this point, right?
Yeah, but with everything they did wrong, and
Yes.
again, I'm a huge fan of Alyssa Miller, and I love everything she did and what she pointed out and all the flaws they had. I'm not okay with how they
Yeah.
rectified the situation because they didn't rectify it.
I think they're trying to now. I think they thought they were too big to fail, and then they were like, oh wait, oh this is bad. Oh, so you're saying it's bad now? Oh, y'all didn't like that. Oh, we're repeat offenders. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So
sorry
so
about
EC
that.
Council, I still get emails from them. I let my CEH expire.
I my,
Mine was a V8. I
mine
let
will
it go.
mine will expire this month, next month. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
So I would say it's very much concentrate on the content, not the certification.
Yeah,
Because if you understand the concepts of the whole breadth of cybersecurity and what all it entails, then you'll find your what you really are driven to do and what you find passionate. Because understand, unless you plan on being a consultant, you are going to specialize. If you're a consultant in certain consulting companies, you have to understand everything. So having that ability to talk to everything is very important.
yeah.
But if you want to just work for an organization on their SOC or as a security engineer or as a pen tester or what have you, then get an understanding because you can't do red if you can't do blue and you can't do blue if you can't do red. Because let's be honest, if you don't understand what logs to look for, you don't understand how to break into something.
Fair enough.
It goes hand in hand. So that is why I say if you can't do the technical for whatever reason, either you just don't really find it in you, you don't have it in you. GRC and understanding the concepts to everything is amazing. It is an amazing field to get into, and it is a growing field.
I mean,
There are so many companies out there looking for people that know governance, risk, and compliance, especially in critical infrastructure. That you're set. You're set. You can do whatever you want.
and let's not forget about technical writing, right? Let's not forget about like that. That's a space.
IKEA is not technical writing for all those wondering. IKEA is the worst part of technical writing.
But like I said, that's a space. And to add on to your advice, no, you don't need to know programming to get into cybersecurity, and no, you don't need to know everything about everything to move up into management in cybersecurity,
Nope.
regardless of who said it and what they have out there or what exploits they have.
Hey, it's a trusted device, so I should be able to break in, right?
All right, so Goals for the rest of the year. Go.
Goals, man, goals. My goal is to get monetized on YouTube and actually have more patrons, and sell more merchandise. If we're talking goals, I don't really have many career goals as far as working full time, just because I love what I do. I love who I work for, and time will tell where that takes me. Um, but as a content creator, as a technical director for Raices, again, raicescyber.org. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead and check them out. It's an amazing nonprofit organization. Um, for me, it's all about growing and helping others. So the more people I get on my show, the more people I can help, and the more people that see it is very important to me. So if I'm able to eventually make a living out of YouTube and Raices and my full time job and make them work cohesively, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to do it all at the same time, but it's very difficult because I have to spend so much time marketing myself, um, because other people don't help. Right? So it isn't like any of your musicians or actors or actresses that are so big and have all this money for ad rev and all this other stuff. It's all me. And when other people don't share that, it is very frustrating because it's like, oh, I love what you do, but I'm not going to say anything about it.
Yep.
And I know I have done that on several occasions. Davin, I've put your name out there on several occasions, but at the same time, I haven't always shared your videos or been on to watch. So I know I'm part of the problem at the same time as I'm trying to be part of the solution.
Be the
Um,
change you want to see.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So
I mean,
it's more
but again, I think the reality of it is it depends on your intent, right? So if you're doing it, it's not if it's not intentional, right? Again, we're all busy, so so like we'll pop in on each other's streams, or I'll pop in and say hey everybody, or comment here and there, right? I might not be able to stay for the whole duration of the show,
right,
but you got to be it's got to come from from a place of good intentions. Now, if I look at it and I go, I could share this, but F that guy, then clearly that's not good intentions, right? But
right.
if you're like, man, I'm busy and I forgot, I mean, like I said, I get it. And again, being in that content creation space, it's understandable. And Eric's going on a rant. First of all, stop calling me. I'm not controversial. I'm behaving myself. Eric says, "What is Raices? That is very interesting." Then he says, "Are they having a virtual con in December?" And then he went into talking about how he shares all your stuff. And yes, I'm not. So
But
I guess he wants you to plug that before the last question.
yes, yes. Raicescyber.org. We are having a virtual con December 4th from 11 to 5. It is free. Yes, free. So uh, go ahead, register. Go to raicescyber.org, find the registration page or the page about it. And the registration is through Eventbrite. Um, they are an amazing organization. I may be a little bit biased, but at the same time, I agree with everything they're doing. So it is what it is. The virtual conference is in December 4th. And Eric has his own channel as well, Eric Bellardo Cyber. I'll, you know, put that out there. Also, I will
Hold on,
plug
real
that.
quick. Caleb said we're committing human rights violation.
I'll commit a lot of violations. Don't get it twisted. I don't care.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your plug.
Look, diversity in thought, Eric. You said it wrong. Not diversity in cyber, diversity in thought. Come on, get it right. God, I can't take this guy anywhere.
Besides, I think ain't that Eric boy? We should stop. That's Eric's friend.
God, I can't take Eric anywhere.
That's Eric's friend. All right, last question, and then and then again, if you haven't done the humble bundle, throw that in there. InfoSec is so trappy. Wow. Not Tish. We'll talk. Um, Final question, sir. What is your why?
Oh, what is my why? My why, just like when I joined the Army and the Air Force, has been to help others. Um, I I don't find gratification or excitement in helping the big guy. It's about helping all the people out there. It's about helping the little guys, helping people achieve their dreams, their goals. Um, that's been my big why. It's very difficult to find success in becoming a CISO or CEO or anything like that for me, because it's not about the money. So for me, it's always been about protecting others, protecting what I love, and protecting um, people's ability to privacy and the right to privacy. And so I think for me, it's about always allowing others to find their capability to do the same. So if they want to secure, they want to break into stuff, I'll help them. I'll help them get there legally. If they want to secure things, I'll help them get there legally. Um, it's just a matter of I get more gratification out of helping others than I do helping myself, which is weird to say, but that's always where I've found happiness is helping others. And so that's the route I've gone. I promote other channels, I promote other people. I do a lot of things beyond just myself. And it's for the purpose of I find um, seeing the success in others is more um, gratifying.
Hmm.
That's really my why. It's seeing others succeed. It's helping others.
No, that's great. No, and it's just something like, for example, me, I there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that I don't talk about, or or people that I'll reach out to and try to help out behind the scenes, and I don't want anything for it. I'm not looking for any type of accolades, or sometimes I tell people just don't even say where you got it from, right? Because I don't want that to be the impression. But it's the truth. When you genuinely have a passion to leave a situation better than how you walked in with it, like that's the move.
And
And
it's because I don't want you and I both know organizations, the military, it's always been, well, this is how it's always been done.
yeah,
And I don't like that saying. I've never liked that saying.
yep,
It's very much we need to change things for the better. And for me, it's I understand in cybersecurity it's about who you know, not what you know. I mean, what you know plays a big part on you keeping the job, but
yeah,
getting the job is based on who you know.
absolutely,
And I think that I've helped people get jobs based on just encouraging them to connect by encouraging them to, hey, talk to that hiring manager.
yeah,
Let them get to know you and who you are, and then say, hey, I've applied and never heard back. Can you at least tell me why? What I can do better? Don't say it's their fault. Ask what you can do better so
yeah,
that you can eventually land your dream job. And I've had people land their dream job just by asking that question. Just
yeah.
by doing that, reapply. I'll make sure you get an interview. I had one of my buddies as I was going through my OSCP. We both got it, and he was like, "Hey, I want to work for SpaceX. I know this hiring manager is on LinkedIn. Da 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 da." I was like, "Connect with him, talk to him." Oh,
Hmm.
but I don't care. Connect with him,
Yeah,
talk to him, develop that relationship, and then bring up that point of contention of, "Hey, I've applied. I just want to know what I can do better that you're not seeing my resume or you're not calling me back or whatever." And he immediately got an interview and got a job. Got the job. His dream job was SpaceX.
yeah.
That is probably the most gratifying feeling in the world is seeing others achieve their dreams and their goals of working for organizations that they've always wanted to work for. And for me, Cyber Warrior Studios and Security Happy Hour has been about allowing people to put their face out there so that when they apply for a job or when they put something on their resume, they can say, "Hey, I was on this show.
Yep.
I spoke to this topic." You can see what I know just by going on there, just by watching that video, and encouraging people to write blogs, right? Write about what you know, because then you can
Write
prove
about write about what you're learning,
write
right?
about what you're learning,
As you're going
because you
along.
can
Yeah.
prove then that you're improving yourself.
Yep.
And things like that, a lot of people don't understand. And I'm like, look, it's not gatekeeping necessarily by asking for a blog that you may write, or a show you might have been on, or a YouTube channel you might have, or a GitHub repo you might have. That's about just understanding who you are and what you're capable of. If you're capable of learning, I can teach you.
Yep.
If you're not capable of learning, then you're stuck where you're at. And that is where the problem lies. So if I can't prove your ability to learn, and that is where degrees and certifications come in. Degrees and certifications prove your ability to learn. But if you don't have those, you've got to give me something
You got to
else.
give me some. Yeah. You got to show. You got to. I mean, at the end of the day, people go. A job is give and take. You have
Exactly.
to.
If
You
you
know.
can learn on the job, great. But how do I know you
But
can
you
learn on
have.
the
But
job?
you have to. You also have to. I mean, jobs that obviously don't have any bias or any gatekeeping or any BS. Before anybody says that's in the comments with the whatabouts, I'm talking about just a legitimate job on its surface. At the end of the day, the job, you need to show the job that you're going to provide value, that you're going to be an asset. If
Exactly.
you can't show the value you can bring, then that's where it gets difficult. So,
Exactly. And it's all about providing value. And look, unless you're starting your own business where you're providing value to yourself
but
and
even
value
but
to your own
even but
organization,
even in your own business,
how do you provide value to your clients?
you're yeah, I was say you're trading your boss or your employer for your client, and guess what? You still have to show you have to show even more
Exactly.
of your value and your worth to a
So if you're going to
potential
work
client.
for somebody, you got to provide value because that company needs to make money.
Yes,
And if that company is going to make money, they're going to make money from you because you're going to provide a service to their clients.
yes,
And that is very vital. And if you can't prove to me that you can bring value to my clients, I'm not going to hire you.
yep. And so real quick, and so Tish said, so maybe I need a blog. It
Yes,
could be it could so yes, blog would probably be the easiest thing. And like I said, you don't even have to stand up your own blog. You can go on Medium. You can blog on Medium. You can blog on GitHub. You can
yep.
blog just
GitHub has its own ability to run a website. You
right.
can
So
run a
so just
website straight from GitHub for
so
free.
do that. And like I tell people who want to get into pen testing, fire up some VMs,
Oh, for sure.
fire up some VMs, get root, and show your entire process, because that literally shows your train of thought through the process. They don't need to know that it took you 4 hours to do it,
Oh no, dude. You
but
know how long it took me to stand up Security Onion?
but yeah, right. So that my point exactly. But you can speak to it and you can write it and they can see it and they can go, okay, so guess what? Even if it did take you 4 hours, they know their shit because it's right here,
Exactly. They
published
learned it.
from
They know.
them. So and then Kev Tech says resume, projects, good LinkedIn profile, talk to job recruiters, get out of your comfort zone and talk to hiring managers. Absolutely.
Oh man, if you're not,
Absolutely.
look, I'll be honest, just like the next person. LinkedIn can be a drama and a brutal place, but it can help you get a job. Because I'll be honest, we're hiring where I work. We're always
Mhm.
we've been hiring for a while. First place I look is LinkedIn.
Yep.
What do you have? Who have you worked for? What do you do? If you have nothing on LinkedIn, then I've got to find you. And if I got to find you, that's not a problem. But you're just making my job harder and the process take longer. If I can't tell you how many times my boss has come to me and been like, "Hey, so and so says they went through, and I'm going to throw his name out there, Cover Six Solutions. Can you talk to Ty because he knows I know Ty Wilson very well. Me and him are
Hmm.
friends. And can you talk to Ty and see how this person was?" So
Yeah.
yes, even if they're not a reference, I'm still going to find out what schools you've gone to and talk to the people I know that were there.
Yeah.
It's still
Absolutely.
going to happen.
I mean, I get calls like, oh, I see you had such and such, or you talk to such and you talk to such and such based on your small interactions with them.
Yep.
What do you think of them, right? And so that, yeah, it goes a long way.
And
So
we're a small community. So if
yes,
you're putting yourself
cybersecurity
out
is
there,
not that big. That's
I'm
the
gonna
other
be
that's the
blunt.
other misconception. That's the other misconception. And I tell people that all the time because I see people getting into these spats and stuff, and not for nothing. That's part of the reason why, even though I'm good where I'm at, I try to practice not getting into a lot of the nonsense. But
I stay out of it.
when it irks me when I see it's doing damage to people, right? Because if the name of the game is to try to help people elevate their life, their lifestyle, their careers,
Right.
and then you have someone who's feeding them nonsense, that bothers me.
Oh, for sure.
So yes, I stepped out of character a little bit, even though technically I still behave myself, because everybody here knows, a lot of people here in the pack and in the comments, and you already know, if I want to air it out.
Just because you're from Connecticut, Davin.
Like, listen, don't let's not get it twisted or misconstrued or fucked up. Like, let's keep it a buck here. So,
but the thing about it is, as big as we are, we're still small.
yes, in the great. Oh, hell yeah,
very much are.
Hell yeah. I was just at a cybersecurity conference, and I'm looking at some big names in the industry, and when people were coming to talk to me, I was like, you don't want to talk to me. Go, Bryson's over there.
Right. Bryson, the unicorn is there. Yeah. You don't want me.
You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me. What the hell are you talking to me for? Go. Steve Sims is over there. Go talk to
right.
Jake
so
Williams,
it's one of those things where
right. So
we're small enough that when I tell people I know people that can get things done, even if it's not me, I know people. I can do one of two things. I can help you or I can burn you. And it's up to you. It's up to how you interact with others. I don't care about any beliefs you have. How you present yourself to me online, if I have not met you in person or talked to you on the phone, how you present yourself to me online and in our conversations is how I perceive you. So if you're an asshole online, I'm going to tell people you're an asshole. Plain and simple, which is going to burn you when somebody calls me and says, hey, what do you think about this person? I'm going to say he treats people or she treats people like shit. They're not worth hiring.
Fair
it
enough.
Happens to you.
Fair enough.
Right. Tech IT support said the same thing, because at the end of the day, how you treat others is of vital importance to organizations, because it's how you're going to treat their clients. It's how you treat their other employees.
Yep.
That is what matters. And people talk about all the time, well, I don't have the IT knowledge, but they said I'm not a culture fit. Well, are you an asshole? Well, no. Well, let's be honest. Are you an asshole? Well, I can be. Exactly. Now,
or
the flip side of that is,
or my thing is, you can be an asshole, but just make sure you provide value, right? And it depends on the type of asshole, because I'm an asshole. I don't care.
I'm an asshole. Look, I'm an asshole. I admit that blatantly. So, come on, everybody knows.
Yeah.
That.
So it's like, that it is what it is. All right. So look, you got me, Eric. Eric talking about hashtag fangirl for Davin. No, sir. No, thank you.
Eric is, dude. Eric's my PIC. He's my partner in crime and my comedic relief on Fridays.
Please no fangirling for Davin, please. Let's not.
Davin, I got your shirt in the dirty clothes. I wore it the other day. That's the only reason I'm not wearing it.
Hey, that's okay. That's all right. You bought it, so it's yours. So, thanks for the support.
But I will wear mine because.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, you got to.
Dude, I love your hood. I love your t-shirt I bought from you. Mm-hmm. So look, I'm gonna put this out there. It's the last thing I'm gonna say before you close out the show, because we're already going on 2 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got me breaking all my rules today.
It's okay, because I love you. But if you haven't bought an Alpha Cybersecurity t-shirt or hoodie, I don't know if you have hoodies. I know I bought a t-shirt.
Yeah, I have new hoodies.
I've got look, the black t-shirt with the red wolf, like the red background and wolf is on point. I don't know who designed that for you, but they're my hero because it's amazing. I have my own shit, cyberwarriorstudios.com. Look, I was
just about to get that to you. I was just see you jumping ahead. I was literally going to say, well, again, look, now, man.
It's because I know you, Davin. It's because I love you.
No, look, stop, shut up, shut up. You shut up right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this has been Derek Scheller, aka Cyber Warrior. You see? See, there we go. Now, now tell the people how to find you, all your merch, your stuff, your podcast, everything. Go.
So you can find me. Look, I'm on everything. Cyber Warrior Studios. You find Cyber Warrior Studios, you're gonna find me. On YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You'll find me through D. Scheller Jr., Derek Scheller. But that's the only one I don't have. Cyber Warrior Studios. Twitter is Cyber Warrior ST1, or just look up Cyber Warrior Studios. You'll find me. CyberWarriorStudios.com is where you'll go to find all the ways to support me. That is Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, donations, merchandise. You name it. We got stuff out there.
You on OnlyFans?
Dude, I do not have an OnlyFans yet. All right? Yet, being the key word and the operative word. I may come out with an OnlyFans where I just get root every time and nobody will know. I'll do it shirtless, all right? I'll do it topless for you guys.
Oh, boy.
But look, there is hoodies. There's T-shirts. Hold up. I got the T-shirt on too. Hold on. See, we got T-shirts. I've got women's clothes. I got men's clothes. I've got book bags. Actually, I took this to my kid's school today. See? Book bags. Woo! I got everything. I've even I got thermoses and some other stuff out there.
OnlyFans Cyber Warrior hot tub.
Dude, okay, I don't have a hot tub.
We need to close the show because I never thought in a million years that my show would ever have anything referring to hot tubs in it.
That's Eric for you.
We're gonna hurry up and wrap this, but before we do, it is giveaway time. So we're gonna do the final giveaway. Hopefully, my screen doesn't start flickering or acting all crazy again. Here we go. Boom, and share. All right, so while I'm doing this, again, make sure you're in there. Hashtag Humble Bundle. So the names we have in here, we have Tish, Famsec, James OS, Randy, Eric Bellardo, Sengia, E Brown, Nello, Randy, Andrew, Ashley, Johnny B, Studio Sec, Kev Tech, Marcus Bowie, Ty Ann, and Chaos Rain.
Marcus Bowie chimed in. Oh my goodness, my boy cyber reference here.
Here we go. Yes, absolutely. Here we go. Hold on. Tish said hashtag hot tub. No, we're not doing that. and JB's not in here
tomorrow, man.
JB's out of there. That is Johnny B. So there was Johnny B and then there was JB. All right, so let's go.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Studio Sec. Caleb
won.
All right, so we have Caleb, John Breath, Professor Black Ops, and Princeton. Please send me a message on Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, however you usually find me, and let me know your email address and which Humble Bundle package you want. You can choose between the Cybersecurity Cloud from Pluralsight, or you can get the Python programming. All right, so we're going to stop sharing there, and we're going to come back. So we're going to close it out. Let's see, we did the whole thing here. All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this has been another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I've been your humble and gracious host, Davin Jackson. This has been my guest, Derek Scheller, a.k.a. Cyber Warrior. Please go check him out Fridays at 7 on YouTube on his channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment on both of our stuff. Please, let's get that algorithm up. If you want to support, you can support me. I don't know what's going on with my stream deck right here. If you want to support, you can support me on Buy Me a Coffee. You can also check out some of my affiliate links. So I support WebRoot antivirus. I'm also a Udemy supporter. Like, I am a big time Udemy advocate. So please go check them out. They always got stuff on sale. We touched on it earlier, but I also have a merch store through TeePublic. So go check that out over there. And once again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow wherever you're watching this. You can follow on LinkedIn. Can you follow on LinkedIn? I don't know. But subscribe
on LinkedIn. I know, because people follow me.
Okay, so there you go. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Twitch, subscribe to the LinkedIn. You can follow me on Twitter. Also follow Derek. Check him out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been rocking with me. Like I said, Derek over here got me breaking my rules. I was supposed to be behaving myself for season 2, and I said I was cutting the show short. And now here it is. We're back to 2 hours, but y'all was rocking with me the whole time strong. So I love y'all. Once again, please check me out in 2 weeks because we're off for Thanksgiving. But in 2 weeks, I will have friend of the show, Dara J. Footman, aka CCIE by 30, and we're gonna catch up and see where she is on her journey to that CCIE certification. So make sure you see. I just drew a blank. Make sure you check it out there, please. Like I said, likes, follow, subscribe. Go check Derek out tomorrow, and I will see y'all in a couple weeks. Peace out.